Record. All right, so we're going to get started tonight. This is not going to be a super long Zoom, I hope, but we've got a lot to share with you guys. And as you guys know, a lot of us were in Nashville this last weekend, or at least met up for, dinner or whatever. And it was a lot of fun. And there's a lot of different things that we experienced. There was a lot of different conversations that you don't get to have with other people in the industry unless you are literally in person in the same room with them. So I'm super excited to share this with you guys. And I'm just going to start by going over a few updates. These are things that just kind of came to mind as I was writing my notes down for the night. And then we're actually going to go into sharing from the event things that we learned, things that were heard, things that were talked about, things that were like aha moments that are super awesome to know about that you normally would not get if you were not at the event. So it's kind of exclusive, So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and talk about that. But first, I've got 7 different updates for you guys. Okay. So wanted to share this with you guys that there is a new boom challenge that I just started in Team Diamond Hustler. I have not done a boom challenge since last August, and life just got crazy. I don't know what happened. And Facebook was making it so I could not post in any groups. So now I can post in the group. So I'm super excited about that. I was able to post a boom challenge in there for you guys. And so that's open for you. That's a boom 25. It explains right in there for new distributors how exactly it works and how you can make it happen. And if you're not in the group chat, it just means that you have to finish your first book in order to get in there. So that's what that's all about. And that's like free things and free gifts from Matt and I whenever you start to accomplish things in your business. So I'm super excited about that. That's going to really help boost us along and get us excited to keep going. This boom challenge will go on and on and on and on throughout the month. So once we get to 25, we'll restart over just like we always do. And I'm sure that our girls who have been with us for a while can kind of help lead our other new girls that just got started. So second thing is that we are actually getting started with a new board for packs. I actually just heard this on a Diamond and Above call. And we also talked about it at this little event that we went to, where people are leading with packs, and it's so smart. And it clicked with me while I was there. And I was like, why are we not doing this? So I'm going to talk a little bit and touch a little base on that tonight too. And then also you should be seeing a new board come into the group chat here within the next couple of days to help you start learning how to talk to people about packs right from the start. So you're not just talking to them about one product. And I'm going to put those descriptions in there. I'm going to hook you guys up with it. Make sure that you have all the verbiage for it, so you're not worried about like, oh my gosh, what do I say? Right. Number 3 is making sure you know your why and write it down. If you have not gotten your reason why put together and made sure that you know why you're here and you know exactly what you want and you know exactly what you're hustling for, you got to get it together. There is not going to ever be something that's just going to fall out of the sky. You're going to have to put the work in. And the only way to put that work in is if you know where you're going. It's kind of like saying, hey, Chelsea, I want to take a trip, right? But then I say, okay, where are you going? And you say, well, I really haven't figured that out yet. I don't know what I'm doing, right? You can't plug something into a GPS when you don't know the address. So you've got to figure out what that address is going to be. Find out exactly where your destination is, your goals for now, soon, and later. When you have those, you can meet that first goal and shift it up. And then meet that second goal and shift it up. And you're going to be consistently having that now, soon, and later goals for yourself. So making sure that you're writing that down. If you have not had a meeting with your upline to go over the full plan and you need it written out, and it's absolutely the most important thing that you could do for your business is knowing the plan and where you're going and what you should do step by step by step. I met with a few of you guys today and we really hit it out of the park. I've got it all written down and I'm super excited for you because you know where you're going and you know what your step is, your next step is, and the next step and the next step and the next step. So you can follow it like a map. So if you have not done that, get with your upline. If I am your upline or I'm your leader, send me a message, send me a private message, or send your upline a private message and say, hey, can I get like a 30-minute call with you or a 15-minute call with you just to talk to you about step by step by step. If you are brand new, you're going to go through that with me. So don't worry about it. We will go over all of that. Number 4, next week, Cami Pentecost was talking about how corporate is actually having 2 Zooms a day. The first Zoom is going to be talking and sharing how to do a presentation, either online or in person. And the second Zoom is them actually doing it for your potentials. So the first Zoom, they're going to be talking a lot about how to invite your potentials to this second Zoom. And the second Zoom is going to be talking about just really going hard at, do you want to be a loyal customer? Do you want to be a distributor, or do you want both? Right. And that's going to help you out in the long run. And the more details will come out for that for this week. So as soon as they do in the Road to VIP group, make sure you're in that group. If you're not, I will get you hooked up and get you in. You just have to send me a message letting me know that you are not in it. Also, I'll put it in the group chat too. And I know Haley's been keeping up to date with that group page too. So kudos to her. Number 5, the incentive trip to the Dominican Republic. You have to get 7 cycles done. Okay. If you don't know what that is, you definitely want to make sure that you look at the rules that are in your eSuite. You go to Document Library, go to the trip document, and it will explain to you exactly how to make sure that you qualify for that trip to the Dominican Republic. I know a lot of you guys are already like halfway through them and you're killing it and you're going for it. So I'm super excited, but I want to make sure that you also know that in order to qualify for it, you have to run your auto shipment every single month until then. Okay. So you can also check out the rules for that and make sure that you're keeping up to date with it. If you're struggling to pay for an auto shipment at this point, trust me, I've been there before when I first started. Sell some samples to make it happen. Go on your Facebook and start messaging for samples. Do what you have to do. Get with your upline and figure out how you can make that happen so that you can go to the Dominican Republic with all of our top leaders. And it's going to be so worth it. I promise you. I'm also going for that trip myself. So if you go, we will go together. And I'm super excited. Then number 6 is there's actually going to be try-it parties literally all over. Those are coming soon. We were told at the road rally that these are coming up, where our regional sales managers are putting together try-it parties for all of like our teams in certain specific areas. So if you've got a team or you've got sideline that are in your area and you see one come up on the events, get with your sideline and say, hey, let's go together, or get with your downline and say, hey, let's carpool. We'll go together. We'll go for this, right? Because those try-its are going to be so big for you. You're going to get with like-minded people who are working this business to make money for their family that they desperately need. Okay. Which is going to help you so much. And the 7th thing I want to go over with you guys before we get into it, and this is the last, I promise you, we have a YouTube channel, and I'm going to drop it into our group chat, and I can send it to anybody who wants it privately too. Well, we have a YouTube channel for our team specifically, and I upload our Zoom calls every single week to that YouTube channel. And I also have hundreds of other videos that I've had since we literally started. So, if you are ever at the point where something happens and life gets crazy and you absolutely are laying in your deathbed, can't get on these Zoom calls, and then you magically recover and you're able to watch them again, right? You can watch these YouTube videos and you can get on these Zoom calls and watch them later on. And then also that's a really great resource for you. If you're struggling with something like signing loyal customers, distributors, learning how to stay consistent, you just need a little pick me up, or you need someone to be your hype girl, I'm telling you right now, you go to my YouTube and you will find all of that. Okay. So I will put that in the chat for you guys. Maybe I'll drop it in there actually when the first person's talking. But I want to make sure I updated you guys with that. And it is March Madness, which means this is our boom season. You're about to see the chat literally blow up every single day, because that's always what happens this month. And it gets really exciting. Don't be the one to sit on the sidelines while everybody else is winning. You can get in the game and you can make it happen for yourself, and you can accomplish every single goal that you've set out for yourself this month. So get in there. And even if you're having a hard time or you're struggling to gain that confidence, stand up and say, okay, well, I'm going to start with consistency. And that's when you start putting in the group chat what you're doing every single day. And if you put that in there, it's going to help you hold yourself accountable, because now everybody else is watching, right? So making sure you're doing that. So we're actually going to be talking about the road rally today. We're going to go through the 4 ladies that are 3 ladies technically that were there with me. I am the 4th. So we're going to go through and talk about the road rally and things that kind of stood out to us, things that we learned over the course of that time. And I was actually looking for, we're going to start with Haley. Are you good? All right. You can go ahead and mute yourself.
Yeah, I like being first, so I'm good. Okay, so I feel like we're all 4 going to say the exact same thing. We'll probably all 4 start out with the exact same thing because they say it at every live event. If you have never been to a live event, get to a live event. Small, big, no matter what it is. If one of these try-its pop up in your area, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours away, get to it. I'm telling you guys right here, right now, meeting people and hearing their stories face to face is something life-changing. So with that being said, I got a lot of stuff from this weekend, and I felt like it opened my eyes in a lot of different ways. We heard from new people that we usually don't get to hear from. I got to meet my sales rep over my region, which was so freaking exciting. But some of the things that stuck with me really well, and I'm just going to go over a couple because I feel like we all hit on the same things. But one of them was everyone in the world, no matter who they are, they're looking for either health, wealth, or both. And that's what you need to look at when you talk to people. If you just look on their page and just see what they're needing, you don't want to feel like, Rachel Jones said it, you don't want to feel like you need them, they need you. So if you go into every single day looking at it as they need me, not me needing them, it'll bring a completely different light into your business, a completely different light into your world, to know that it's not just about what you can do for them. It's not about what they can do for you. It's what you can do for them. So with that being said, they talked a lot about getting ready and staying ready. So you feel like when you walk into the business, I feel like you hear people say, well, I'm just going to give it 6 months, or I'm going to give it a year. You don't want to do that. You want to take the quitting completely off the table. And they talked about that a lot. And I know that that's one of the questions that you get asked before you get started in this business. Whoever your upline is, they ask you that question. Are you willing to take quitting off the table? And you need to 100% do that. And if you have to write it down, say it every single day to yourself. Put it out there that this is not something that you're just going to give it a little bit of time and see where it goes, because then you're always looking for that what if. You're always looking for, oh, well, my 6 months are up, let's quit. So you want to 100% take quitting off the table. One of the other things that I feel like resonated with me really well is not to be, people walk into this business thinking that they have to know everything, or they don't think they can start because they don't know everything. You don't want to be perfect. Do the reels, post the stories, post the videos, post it all, because you don't want to look perfect. You want people to know that you're an everyday person and that you live that crazy life. I feel like I saw someone post a couple days ago about a video they took and they were scared to post it. Post that video. Let the people see that you are real. Let the people see that you have that crazy life, or you work, or you're a mom, or you have the crazy kids. And just let them see that that's who you are. Let them see that they can do this because you're doing this. If you show this perfect life of your hair ready every single day and your makeup done every single day, and just this perfect life of all these wonderful kids and just everything that's nice, they're going to be like, well, my life's not like that, so I can't do this. Just show who you are. Be yourself. Be authentic. Because people are going to join you for you. People are going to want to be with you for you. People are going to buy the product for you. So if that's something that you have the fear of, do the TikToks, do the reels. That's where the business is exploding right now. So if you have not started, you need to start ASAP. Everybody talked about it. It's something that with it, even if it's not going viral, you can still do it and you can still explode your business, because that's where the people are. That's where life is moving. Things are moving more towards Instagram and TikTok. People are stepping away from Facebook. So you need to learn how to work both. And if you have questions, reach out to your upline. Chelsea's YouTube has a lot of those things. There are other uplines, or there's other diamonds and aboves and presidentials and ambassadors and stuff like that that have YouTube channels out also that are explaining things like this. So there's no reason why you can't take that step forward because you're afraid. So one of the other things that I got, and I feel like this is my last one. I was told by my regional manager, she told me this week or yesterday, I had a meeting with her, and she told me that I was a problem solver. She told me to constantly keep saying that to myself over and over again. I am a problem solver. And then the other thing she said is, I solve people's health, wealth, or both. And you just keep repeating that to yourself because you are a problem solver. You didn't walk into this business just to be in this business and just to be like, well, I need to make money. You're helping people solve their problems. They're either not happy with their wealth, they're not happy with their body, or they're not happy with both. And that's what you're here for. And you just have to remember that this isn't about what it is about what it's going to do for you, but it's also about what you're doing for them. So just remember that when you take the next step and you start talking to people, realize that you're helping them not only help you. So just be open and be honest and be upfront about everything. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to sell those big packs. Don't be afraid to talk about the business. Don't be afraid. If you feel like that you're talking to someone and they're like, well, I don't have the money to do the product. I don't even have the money to get started with one. Well, turn around and be like, okay, well, let's talk about the business. Let me show you how you can take these products and make the money with me. And just always do it. If it's a host post, we talk about all the time. If it's a host post, do the business. If it's a product and they don't have the money, do the business. Always turn it around. Even if it's a product and their customer's like, oh, I'm going to get started. Start at the business item and be like, well, would you like to make more money? Or if they're talking about the one product, do the upsell. Just always go with it. Never just stop. Always try to take it to the next level. And I feel like that was the most important thing I got from this weekend.
Whoops, I had myself muted. Sorry about that. Yes, I agree 100%. And the thing that's really, really crazy is that, like, I'm just going to refer to myself because that's the best way I can do it. Okay. When I first started this business, I was honestly terrified to take videos. Like, raise your hand if you've ever been afraid to take videos of yourself. Raise your hand if you've ever been afraid to take a photo of yourself. Maybe not a photo in general, but maybe like a full body photo or a photo of like from the waist up, right? Has anybody been afraid to do that before? Because I know I've been in both those situations. And here's the deal. Everything you're going to do in your life, you're always going to have fear first. You're going to lead with fear. That's how we are created as human beings. We were created like that because back when cavemen were alive and all the things that actually saved us from getting killed, right? So we are constantly having that fear of, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that yet. Oh my gosh, you're kind of testing the waters. You're dipping your toes in, trying to figure it out. But when it comes down to it, this business is something that the only thing that can hold you back is you. You're the only one who can have that fear and keep it inside for so long to the point where you don't do anything, right? And so when I first started, I was so afraid. I was so afraid of using Instagram because I knew that it was going to require to take photos every single day, right? Or photos at least once a week and share them throughout the week, right? Same with TikTok. I was so afraid of looking stupid. I was so afraid of people judging me. I was so afraid of all this. And what's really crazy is I just started TikTok. I'm a diamond leader. Like, I have 2 diamond accounts. I do not most people would literally look at me and say, well, why are you so afraid when you're already there? Right. But you have to understand that fear never goes away. Whether you're a distributor, a ruby, an emerald, a diamond, a double diamond, triple, VIP, ambassador, the fear of trying something new never goes away. But the only way that you can start to gain confidence in that area is to jump in full force and actually do it. You just have to jump in. And it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of saying, hey, it doesn't matter what people think, right? They don't pay your bills. They're not going to feed your babies. They are not going to give you $2,500 and say, hey, here, go spend it on what you need to spend it on, right? So the only one who can make that decision for yourself is you. And if they judge you, are you going to die? Probably not, right? Nothing's going to happen if you post it and people say things, right? Nothing is going to happen. You're going to still be alive tomorrow. Everything's going to be fine. And you're going to be able to move on your merry way. So that was one of the things I wanted to say. And then Haley also touched base on something that was similar to this, but I believe that one of the things that we talked about, and I talked about it with everybody this weekend, was you can't have a plan A work when you still have a plan B. Am I right? So if you're sitting there saying that, oh, I'm going to get this done and I'm going to make this happen and I'm going to go diamond. And then you're saying, I'm going to go diamond because of, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, just for example, right? And then you've got something on the back burner that's actually allowing you to do that already, or would allow you to do that in the future. And you're thinking of other ways to make that happen. This plan A is never going to happen if you've got this plan B already lined up. When you make the decision to choose your why, it has to be there's nothing else in this world that can make that happen for you, right? Like I think about the addition on my home. There's no way we would have been able to stay at home and build an addition on my house unless I actually just worked from my phone, right? Like that was my only option. This is our only source of income. So I had to decide for myself that this is my only option. There is no option for me to go back to work. There is no option for Matt to go back to work. We are staying home full time like we always have since we started this business, and we're going to make it happen regardless. And that's what forced me to work, right? So if you want to be a full-time stay-at-home mom, right, you have to stop looking for other ways to make money. You have to stop looking for other people to make the money for you to stay home, right? You have to stop thinking of different options like, oh, well, I could use this thing, or I could use this app and get referrals, and I could do all this. You have to stop looking at the plan Bs, and you need to start focusing on your plan A. That's the only way you're going to make that plan A happen. And so that's what your why should be for you. It should be something that you can't have a plan B. There is no such thing as a plan B, and it would never happen, right? Unless you work to your plan A. So I wanted to touch base on that really, really quick. We're going to actually move on to Tina next. Tina was also in Nashville with us. Her flight got delayed overnight and then canceled. And then she flew right into Tennessee instead of Birmingham like she was supposed to. So you can go ahead and unmute yourself and share what you learned from it, girlfriend.
Okay, great. So you had me follow Haley. She did really good. She touched base on a lot of stuff. I'm a firm believer in plan A and plan B, because what happened? I said, hey, what happens if I get stuck in Charlotte for the night? And guess what? I mentioned plan B and I spent the night in the airport. So stick to your plan A. Plan A is the way to go no matter what. Don't think about a plan B. But some things that touch base with conference, make your why strong enough that it will make you cry. That was a huge eye opener when we were there at conference. We're always talking about, make our why the most important thing. Well, that really touched base right there. That hit really close to home. So when you're planning your why, make it strong enough that it makes you cry. This way, that will be your only way to go. Some of the other things, again, take quitting off the table. There was also some really good things like Rachel Jones had mentioned about the tracker. I don't know if we put it in the regular group, but the tracker, she walks around with this all day. I now have one that I'm going to be walking around with all day, every day. If you want, I can drop it in later too. But that was another huge thing. And another huge thing was with our customers. How many are afraid to follow up with our customers after we've already signed them? I was one. Why are we afraid? We're afraid of them saying they don't like the product. Well, guess what? Don't be afraid, because there's many other products. We have over 40 plus products. If they don't like one, find out what they don't like about it. Maybe it's the coffee. Maybe they're just making it wrong. Give them different options of how to make it, like with ice or with maybe a French vanilla creamer. That's one way I do it. There's always something that we can substitute the products with. If they don't like the coffee, try the teas. There's always something to go with. That was one that one of the leaders that were up on stage mentioned. That was another big one, because I am always afraid of them not liking the product. So that's another thing I'm going to do, is always follow up and have a plan for them to try another one if they don't like it. If they like it, great, then we're on track. So also, your success is in the belief. So just believe in your success with the business. This is the way to go. And again, just keep going. Don't quit. Build the relationships with your DTs and with your LCs. Always talk to them. Always keep in communication with them is another big thing. Also with your customers, always have them take a before and after. They don't always have to show you, but make sure they take it, because that was another big one. They'll say like the product doesn't work. Well, why didn't the product work? I don't know. It just didn't work. Well, if they don't have something to show their before and show their after, then they may not know that it's working. So always have them take those pictures, or maybe they're just taking it every other day. So just let them know that they got to stick to the plan and take the before and afters. That's another huge thing. And keeping the customer retention too. And just being there, just always showing up. Communication's the biggest thing. And another thing was too, taking care of the customers and loving on them. Always send them a happy birthday, and just being there for any questions that they may have. Don't leave them on the back burner once you sign them, because then they'll be like, they signed me and that was it. They were gone. I didn't see them again. Same with your DTs. Always be there for them. Another big thing was, just making sure that they keep going back and forth with you on screenshots and showing them the way the whole way. Don't just leave them on the back burner. Just always make sure you're there for them too. And that's another huge thing that I took away from conference. And the other huge thing was run with your runners, walk with your walkers, wave to your watchers. And that was another one that hit home too. So just keep being yourself, be real. Just like Haley said, be real. Don't be fake to them with the hair and, they're good children and stuff. Show them your real side. Because I do the same thing. I don't dazzle up for anything. I'm no makeup, and that's how I am. How you see me now is how you'll see me all the time. And that's really it that I have, other than just be there for everyone.
Okay, perfect. And the thing is like, that was like a really big aha moment, I think, for all four of us, was the customer retention, because that's something that, I think as a team, we don't really like emphasize on all the time. Like it's there, but it's not like boldly there. So we actually were talking about it, and Haley and I were actually talking about starting a customer retention board for you guys, so that you know how to follow up with your current loyal customers. We have a board for our distributors, right? But we don't have anything for our loyal customers. So I think that would be really important for us to do. So we're going to start working on that this week. And once we get it, we'll end up putting it on one of these Zoom calls, and we're just going to explain it to you guys, how it works and everything, just to create that system for you, so that you don't have to worry about what to do anymore, because I know that's really hard sometimes when you don't have a system for things. So this weekend was a lot about, for me, it was like it was like a lot of aha moments for learning that we don't have a system there. Oh, we don't have a system there. Okay, we need a system there. You know what I mean? Just to create that duplication on our team, I think is really important, not only with you, but your downline too, along the way. There was one other thing that you had said, Tina, and I completely forgot what it was. Oh, you were talking about how, be 100% yourself. And what's really crazy is I had this conversation with Tina, and this is something that I probably could have never had with her if it wasn't for us spending the weekend together, and how much I admired her for being so authentically herself. And when everybody else is, doing different things, she holds tight as like, this is who I am, and I'm not going to change just because other people are doing something specific. And that like really hits home for me, because like when I was younger, and especially when I first started this business, I had a really big history of people pleasing. I always wanted to look good. I always wanted to be presentable. I always wanted to make everybody else happy. And being able to see someone else do that really starts to inspire you to, okay, well, you need to just be 100% yourself. And so I thanked her for it. We had a long conversation that was around it. I won't go into the nitty gritty for you guys, but it was a really, really good one. And those are conversations that you can't get unless you spend time with your team, unless you really take the time to go to events with them or share events with them, even if it's like literally sitting on your couch watching a conference or an event from your couch, So that's really, really important. So the last one we're going to go with, and then I'm going to go for it afterwards. We're going to go with Samantha. So you can go ahead and unmute yourself and share what you took away from it.
Okay, first off, I just want to say that this was my very first event. And like Haley said, if you can get to an event, get there, because it changed literally everything for me with the business. And also, like, I've been very emotional today, so I may get emotional. But so like Chelsea was saying earlier, like you can't have a second option. Like, so for me, like for my why, at first, when I first started, I'm like, oh, I just want to be able to stay home. Well, I've always been a stay-at-home mom since I had my first baby. So really, my why in the beginning, there was a second option. So like I realized even just earlier today talking to Chelsea, like I have a new why now. And that why, it's still for my babies, but it's an even bigger why, like it's an even bigger thing for me. So that is, and there's no other option other than this business for me to be able to let them do the things that they want to do. And there's no other option. Like I have to do this for them to be able to do what they want to do. And so that was one thing that I did want to mention before I got into the stuff that I took from conference. But so Tina and Haley both actually had mentioned the things that I was going to talk about also. But one thing was your success falls in your belief. If you believe that you're going to be able to do this, you are going to do it no matter what. Like you have to believe in yourself to be able to succeed. And there's no other way around that. And that leads into take quitting off the table. There's no option. Like you cannot quit this. You cannot have that plan B. Again, there's no plan B. So, and another thing was just follow up with your loyal customers, write their names down. That was one thing I wasn't doing before. I wasn't writing my loyal customers down. I wasn't even following up with them. So like just following up with them and making sure that they're liking the product or making the product right or taking it consistently, and I've had myself have had a couple people stop taking the product or stop even like we'll just cancel their orders, so and it happens to everyone. But and that's honestly like, and I can share the story because it was my grandfather that this happened to. So he wanted to order something. I put in his order. And he texted me 2 weeks later and said, well, this isn't working. I said, well, are you taking it? He said, well, yeah, sometimes. I said, we have to take it all the time, like you have to be consistent with it. Well, then he just, instead of, continuing to try, he just canceled his order. So that's fine. It's okay. But yeah, just be consistent, following up with your loyal customers, asking them questions, and your distributors too. Like make sure you're they're like talking to them every day. Like, so it's just, and then there was another thing I think that I was going to say. Oh yeah, just build those relationships is what I was going to say and get customers results. Yeah, that's all I have. That's what I was going to say.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like we always piggyback off of each other. So that's totally fine. But the thing is that I 100% agree with anyone that when you hop on these Zoom calls, like Sam might say something the way I like exactly what I say, but you'll literally get it. It'll be more beneficial for you to hear it from Sam's mouth. Same with Haley. Haley might say something that I've already said, but because Haley said it and you vibe with her more, or same with Tina. If Tina says something, but the way that she sounded when she said it, it might just click with you a little bit more. Right. And it really all depends on where your mindset is at and who you're talking to and who you vibe with and stuff like that. And that's why we're going to continue to bring new people on these Zoom calls and just share all of these things. And I think it'll be really beneficial for all of us to work together. So, I agree with you, Sam, too, when you said that, you know, just keep going with it. It's totally fine. If someone comes to you and they say that they can't take the product, or they say that they're not interested in continuing, or maybe they got their taxes, they place a really freaking big order. Like I've had this happen before. They place a really big order and then they want to cancel the second month because they don't have the money, right? It's okay if they decide to do something like that, because there's plenty of fish in the sea. And guys, we work on social media. Do you realize that social media has billions and billions of people on it? Literally, the market is endless. You can literally grow your network to as big as you possibly can on multiple different platforms. I think on Facebook, I have 5,000 friends, almost 5,000 friends. I like teeter down right below it. Instagram, I'm like almost to 5,000 friends, and TikTok's the same exact way. And they're all kinds of different people and they're constantly flowing in. So yeah, I agree 100% that there's plenty of fish in the sea. And just because one person doesn't want it, or wants to quit it for whatever reason, doesn't mean that that's your sign that you should give up. That should be your sign that, oh my gosh, there's so many other people out here. Who's next, right? Who am I going to change their life next, right? And so when you think more like that, and you think of, like, I don't remember who exactly was saying it on here, but someone was on here saying that you have to go into it with the mindset of they need you, not the opposite way around. You don't need them. They need you. You don't need to, beg them or whatever. They need you. When you go into the mindset of that, that's where you build confidence. And when you say that every single day, I think it was Haley actually, because she said she met with her regional sales manager. And it was the whole mindset of, going into it, knowing that these people need your help and not you have to beg them to do it. Right. Because when you do that, it's just going to grow your mindset and help boost your. Sam, I think you're still unmuted, girlfriend. So
yeah, can I say one more thing?
Yes, go for it. Absolutely.
Okay. So, and one thing that I wrote down like in bold letters and underlined a whole bunch while we were there is this quote. And I've literally said it every single day since. I can and I will. Like, I can do this and I will do this. Like, so that was one thing that I wrote down that was very important to me.
You feel like that just saying that alone every single day has built your confidence so far? Like it's starting to give you
yeah, it has. And that's literally with everything. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the business. It doesn't have to be like with the products or anything like that. Literally with everything, like just keep saying it. And even writing it down, like writing it on your mirror or on a post-it note or something like that somewhere so you can see it all the time. Like, so that it has helped a lot, like just make me feel a lot better. So
yeah, I'm sure that it definitely helps the boost in confidence. And it's really crazy. I was talking to Samantha about this when we were in Nashville. And I was like, what's funny is that when I first started my business, and some of you guys will remember this who have been with me for a really long time. Do you remember when I had on my profile cover photo that literally said, I can and I will on top of it? I literally had that up there every single day. So every single time that I went to my Facebook page, it would literally say, I can, I will. And then I switched it over at one point to say, you can, right? You can, you can, you can, you can. So every single person that came to my profile, they all saw that I was immediately going to push them. I was immediately going to help them be better version of themselves. So definitely love that quote. And I'm really, really proud of you for doing that. So I wanted to go over really, really quick, just my last couple of things, and I have them written down, but they're kind of scattered all over the place. Okay. So the mindset of talking to people, Haley kind of covered that, where, instead of going into it saying, well, what if they say no, switch it around and say, everyone wants to be on my team. Right. How many of you guys have ever had that thought of, well, what if they say no? Or what if they judge me? Or what if they don't want it? Or what if they get started, but then the products don't work and they get mad at me, right? We've all had those times. When it comes down to it, if we swap it around and instead of thinking about the negative side of it and we start focusing on the positive side of it, that's called manifesting. Okay. So you are literally calling out what you want. Just like Tina said, she started focusing on her plan B, and guess what? Her plan B came true because she was focusing on it. Whatever you focus on, your mind will always go there. Think about this. Okay. And this is just for my new girls. I've never heard this before, but think about this. If you are driving in a car, okay, you're 10 and 2, like Tina, driving up the highway, and you are, staring at the front, but then you start looking in the rear view mirror. Okay. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking in the rear view mirror. What's going to happen? I'm going to focus so much on what's behind me that I am going to crash. Okay. Now what happens if I'm sitting here 10 and 2 and I'm looking over here in the ditch, right? I'm probably going to end up swerving and crashing into that ditch. Or what happens if I'm watching everybody go past me in the other lane, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm watching everybody. What's going to happen if I'm watching everybody else but myself and what's in my lane? I'm going to swerve and I'm going to crash, right? So how do you avoid these things? You start focusing on your own lane. You start paying attention to where you're going and not what that person's doing over there. Life happens, focus on your lane. Past comes up. People try to bring that crap up for me all the time. I've got family who are consistently bringing up who I was 5 years ago because they don't have access to me now. Okay. They bring that up and I'm still focused on my own lane. So I really don't give a shit what's going on back here. I don't care what they're saying. I don't care about what people beside me are doing. I don't care who's promoting and who's not promoting on my sideline. I don't care what is going on. I'm not going to sit here and compare myself to everybody else. I'm not going to sit there and dwell on my past. I'm not going to sit there and dwell on everybody else's drama around me. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to drive forward and focus on that. I'm going to put my blinders on and I'm going to go for what was meant for me, not meant for everybody else. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a thumbs up if it makes sense. Perfect. Okay. So this is why you have to focus on where you're going and not where you've been and not where you could go. You got to focus on the positive, not the negative. So when you're talking to yourself and you hear those thoughts, we all got these thoughts that are inside of our head that tell ourselves we're not good enough. We can't do it. We're not smart enough. Oh, I've got like 5 million things to do today. Oh, the baby's spitting up and the other one's flushing a whole roll of toilet paper down the toilet. You're going to have things that are going to happen. And your job is to literally focus on where you're going, no matter what's going on around you. Right. And your why, just like Sam was saying, and just like she was saying, like you have to make it, and Tina was saying, you have to make it something that you're emotionally attached to. Right. The only way you're going to focus on where you're going is if it's something that pulls you, not something you have to drag yourself to. Okay. So when you're focusing on it and life is hitting you hard and you've got these thoughts that are going through your head, like, can I even do it? You can refocus on why you're here in the first place every single time. Pull yourself there. It takes a lot of growth. It takes a lot of maturity to do that. But I promise you, you are capable. You can 100%. You can do it. So I always swap it around. And that was one of the biggest things that they were talking about. And I just needed a really quick reminder of, because we all get in those slumps where like life is hitting hard and craziness is going on. You got this, that, and everything happening to you. Okay. Or happening in your life. I shouldn't say to you. And you have to grow that muscle to be able to swap it around and say, well, everyone wants my products. Why wouldn't someone want to be coached by me? Right. Even if you don't know where you are right now, or where you're, even if you don't know how all the answers and you don't know how to do it specifically, are you willing to go and find the answers? That's where you can find your confidence in this business, right? Are you willing to not stop until you get enough, right? Are you willing to keep going regardless of what's going on? And that's where you're going to find your confidence. And that's where other people are going to find their confidence in you as a leader. When I first started, guys, I started at distributor, just like everybody here, right? Raise your hand if you started out as a distributor. Me too. Okay. We all started in the same exact spot. So what did that mean? I just had to do exactly what you're doing right now. And all I did was I focused on where I was going. I got really freaking loud about what I was doing in my life and in my business. And I focused on the good, not the bad. life was hitting me hard when I first started, just like everybody else. My grandfather passed away, who raised me. My dad had a heart attack. It was really, really crazy. My car broke down. It was a mess. Okay. I had to still focus on all the positive and not the negative. I had to swap it around, and we are all capable of that on this Zoom call because we're human, right? Same with what if I get it and it doesn't work, or what if they get the product and it doesn't work? Switch it around to everybody needs this, and we have a product that's going to work great for them. When you say that, we have over 50 products, just like Tina said. There's no way that not one of them is going to work, right? And then consistency brings you confidence. So plus another thing that gains you confidence is actually using your products. So if you're not using the products, you want to make sure you get yourself set up so that you can consistently use them, because you're going to be able to share that on social media. And when people ask you, are you using them? It doesn't matter if you've been using them for a long time or not. You need to share the journey that you're on. And that's what people want to see. They don't care if you've been using them for 3 years. They don't care if you've gotten your own results with them. Does it help you? Yeah, it does. But they do want to know that you're actually using the products that you're about to talk to them about, right? So it's so important that you're using them. And even if you've got one that you can't use, like me, for example, I can't use the Thermophyte X. I have really bad panic attacks if I get a lot of caffeine and my head starts going crazy. Can I get an amen in the chat if you have anxiety? Okay. So it just does not work for me. So do I use it? No, I don't. Do I still talk about it? Yeah, I do. And the reason why I talk about it is because I know several people that are on our team or are in our company that are using the same exact products and have approved results, that they've actually used it and it's proven to be true. Okay. Do I still talk about my other products that I use all the time, like the Skinny Coffee, the greens, the hair, skin, nails, the cleanse, the smoothie now, the gummies, all the things? Absolutely, I do. So get those products in your hands, and you might not like one, and that's okay to talk about it. It's okay to talk about, I don't like this one, but I love this one, right? Because not everybody's going to love it. And so if you, kind of bring yourself back down to earth and understand that if you don't like all of them, every single last one of them, then chances are everybody else has one or two that they're not going to like either, right? And that's when you can learn to swap it around, and you can help them with different products along the way. Another thing is one of the things that I took away from conference that was really, really huge when they were talking about the packs. Okay. And this is the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with. They were talking about the packs, and they were saying that if you are not helping them get a pack of products, this means 2, 3, 4, 5 or more products, right? You're actually doing a disservice to them. Want to know why? Because our products are meant to be paired. Are only getting them just the gummies, right? And this was one of the things that they did. It was like a little exercise that they did in our group. They said, raise your hand if you got results with our products. And almost everybody raised their hand, because a lot of us have been using them for a while, right? And they said, raise your hand if you only used one product to get those results. And it was like crickets in the room, because we all used multiple products. We all used either the keto coffee and the greens, the TFX and the gummies, the cleanse and the wraps, the defining gel and the wraps. We all used multiple products to get the results that we have. So if we are going into talking to people about the products and only talking to them about one product, why are we doing that when we know damn well that they're not going to get the results that they want if they are not getting the packs like we are, right? We're doing a disservice to them. We're not getting them hooked up with the things that are going to get them the true results. So we always want to start the highest and then work our way down from it. If you start out high with 4 or 5 products, with presenting them 4 or 5 products, and they say that they can't do it, it doesn't matter, because eventually they will come back and they will order at least 2 or 3 of those products. And at that point, it's going to be right at the neck of the time that you need that order to go in. So we want to stop cutting ourselves short and stop going in with just one product, because that's how you're going to get the customer attention. And that's how you're going to be able to get those orders to last, is when they get the products and they actually work. The only way for them to actually work is if you get them into a pack. So we're going to be focusing a lot on packs. We're gonna start talking a lot on Zoom calls about verbiage and how to talk to people about the pack, specifically targeting specific areas where we're getting common messages in response. So we can walk you through those conversations of talking to people and how to keep those upsells going with the different products. So I think that's all I got. Does anybody else on here want to add anything to it? I don't see anybody. Okay. Haley says no. Team says no. And Sam says no. So, okay. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. This is going to be recorded. So if you did want to rewatch it or you have someone in your downline that was not on tonight, I'm going to put it in there along with the other two that I did not upload before I went to Tennessee. So thank you guys for hopping on. Love you guys so much. And I hope you have a great night.